Hello, dear sinceres. So, today we're going to talk about the full moon in Virgo that will happen on the 7th of March. So, this month of March is fully packed month with lots of events happening. It's basically a month where nothing will remain the same. It might actually leave the month of March feeling like we've lived 30 years in one month. So we have Saturn entering Pisces on the same day as the full moon will happen in Virgo, a little bit later in the day. We will have Pluto ingressing in Aquarius this month. We will have Sun entering Aries this month as well. And we have this full moon in Virgo, which is opposing Pisces. Pisces will see four planets in its sign: Neptune, Sun, Saturn, and Mercury. So this moon has its dispositor Mercury in Pisces, in the midpoint between Sun and Neptune. So there's this Piscean energy, even with the full moon being ruled by Mercury in Pisces. And it kind of remits us to remember that we should have a foot on the ground as we look towards the divine, towards our hopes, dreams, fantasies, towards the things that inspire us, the arts, the beauty, the things that kind of takes us to another realm, to another dimension. That's all very beautiful, but there's a reason for being incarnated on this planet too. And we also have many planets in mutable energy that can give a feeling of floating, either floating at sea or floating in the air. Mutable signs are signs of change. When we pass from scene to another, we prepare to leave the old, and that requires us to be flexible, adaptable, and looking towards the new, and leaving what doesn't serve us any longer. That's what change is. That's what mutable signs come to tell us. It's time to change season. It's time to leave the old. It's time to leave what's past and find a new way of being, a new way of thinking, a new way of looking, a new perception, and looking towards the new and leaving what doesn't serve us any longer. With Saturn ingressing Pisces later in the day, it's that call to us that calls us towards maturity, towards growth. There is a moment in our lives when our illusions feel like they have been melted. The things we thought things were are no longer. We are forced to adopt a new perspective, one that is not so innocent or naive, because naivety also is a domain of Pisces. To do this work in Pisces is not necessarily hopeless and cynic. It contains the freshness of wisdom and the understanding of growth and evolution. Somehow, elder, wise people, not every elderly person, but some elderly, wise people, seem to kind of give a sense of calmness, as if they know they cannot make time run faster or life happen quicker. They have accumulated patience, learning with many, many years of broken dreams, broken illusions, disappointments, things that they realized were not so important after all. They have achieved the minimalism of laying in the essential side of life. They don't lose themselves in the superficiality that younger generations feel to be a matter of life and death, lost in their problems of day to day, the things that look like they cannot get away from. Rather, these elderly wise people know that the great unknown approaches, And that is the greatest adventure, that after being through the pains of walking the many inhospitabilities of this earth, that they are ready to go back to the light purity and innocent gaze of a child. Life never had to be so serious after all. There's kind of a lifting up of all the weight, all the heaviness of all those years lived, the tears cried, the hearts broken, the losses. And after all of that, wisdom remains. Moon in Virgo asks us to have a foot on the ground while we stay on the clouds, lost in our profound meditative dreams, calm and aware. At some moment, we are required to go back to the earthly plane, to the dry land, when we were surfaced from the ocean. Go deep, but don't fall asleep in the ocean. Moon being our emotions and the mind in Vedic astrology, reminds us that we need to keep a level of reasoning, spiritual intelligence that uses discrimination, our third eye, to see at 360 degrees in all the dimensions that cross our existence. A quote from Zen Koan says, "Before enlightenment, chop wood, get water. After enlightenment, chop wood, get water." This sentence perfectly describes this Virgo Pisces axis of the full moon. Getting enlightened is not a change so much for the outside, it's really a change from the inside. What are you doing with each eternal second of your life? We wait and waste life waiting for that special day when everything is going to be different. Then, yes, I will be happy and fulfilled. So many life moments waiting for those moments. Life moments that we resist and wished didn't happen the way they did. Yet, every second is eternity on to itself. The difference is the awareness we offer to it, our consciousness. The so well known Power of Now from Eckhart Tolle really calls us to the attention we give to each second and every moment of our existence. We think that life is somewhere in the future because the past is gone, and sometimes we look towards the past thinking we wished it had been different, but it can't come back. The only moment we really have right now is now. Go deep, go deep into the ocean, but there's always wood to be chopped and water to be carried. This is not the escapism of Pisces, trying to run away from reality. Saturn entering the sign comes with this big neon sign. Full moon in Virgo asks of us to purify ourselves from the past, from the pain, from all that tries to make us believe that there is a magical land where we are free from chopping wood and carrying the water, free from having to look at what we don't want to look, and escape to our mental fantasies of denial and rejection to growth, to now, to reality. The analytical Virgo moon sees the details, reflects, and thinks. It brings the herbs of healing and sobriety. Your mission is to serve others after you have chopped the wood and carried the water. How are you going to build a fire that warms these people? How are you going to kill the thirst? Pluto is preparing to leave Capricorn in a few days and place itself permanently for 21 years in Aquarius. Change is coming. Nothing will be the same. Those ancient dreams of white picket fence, a mortgage, a car, a security of the old, of the predictable safe life some of our parents prepared us for, is saying its last goodbyes and gasping its last breaths before it dies forever. Change will be more rapid than ever. Saturn in Pisces asks you, who ever told you that reality is solid? Pisces asks us to know, remember our true essence, go deep, go within. The moon reminds us that we are still in the world, solid or not, and there is still wood to be chopped. Mars is squaring Gemini in a T square with the full moon and sun, which is a midpoint for the luminaries. It's calling us to find the warrior within. We are not just doers, but beings, human beings. That constant search for outside information, nonstop, the constant chatter of our minds, it's time to take a break and pause for a few moments. How silent can your mind be when you are in action? That awareness again, the balance between action, mind, heart, and soul. And the soul here is at the elm, because when Saturn, the old man, comes, it comes to remind us that time does not stop. It does never stop, only and until you truly understand time. And let us not forget that Mars is also ruling Jupiter in Aries. And Jupiter, along with Venus in Aries, rule and exalt in Pisces. So this Mars is also trying to give us a message. Of course, being in Gemini, maybe it's time for world peace. But are you mature enough? Or maybe not. Jupiter, the god of gods, the spiritual leader, and Venus, the goddess of love, they both are on the sign that, besides many other positive qualities, is also related to war, the sign of Aries. But this also might be that we have to take action in the world instead of running to sit in meditation in the mounts whenever we are confronted with the things that makes us want to run away and escape. To sit in meditation is really important. To become aware of our true essence is important. But let us not forget, it is important as well to chop the wood, carry the water, warming those who are cold, and killing the thirst of those who are thirsty, as the full moon in Virgo comes to remind us. Chiron is sitting next to Jupiter in Aries as well, and is asking for those who need healing to finally find that healing. Take this medicine, find that much needed healing, healing for your soul, healing for your being, healing for your self esteem, healing for who you are, because only when you've healed yourself can you heal the world around you. Pisces is a sign of healing. And Virgo also has the techniques to bring the healing. In this period, it's good to meditate. Meditate in action. Where is your focus, your attention? And when strong desires, emotions seem to stir you up, can you sit with them, observe them? They are your mind in agitation, your mind wanting to be somewhere else, your mind pulling you away from this moment. Can you just sit in that moment with those feelings, those emotions? Channel your Martian energy to nature walks, grounding, earthing, sunbathing, or ocean water, taking a bath in the ocean or in the sea, to doing some yoga, or even running and doing all of these things in a total sense of presence and awareness. Detox, fasting, drinking lots of water, salt baths, herb baths, herbal teas are also recommended. Taking time to reflect, to feel your essence. Who are you without any of what you possess? Who will you be when your physical body perishes? How real is all that you think you believe to be the truth and reality? Are you solid? Is reality as solid as you are? 1,000 years ago, what would be your reality? What do you think your reality will be 1,000 years from now? What is solid? What if we are in the ocean of divinity, but like fishes in the ocean, we don't know there is such a thing called water of the divine that permeates us? That's it, dear sinceres. Wishing you a beautiful full moon in Virgo and a fantastic seventh day on the 7th of March with Saturn ingressing in Pisces. There will be a video for that, so stay tuned. It will be uploaded very soon, very shortly. So you might want to hear that as well because Saturn will be bringing its impressions for the next 2 years, and there's a lot to cover. I'll see you soon on my next video. May the stars and the cosmos be with you.